Guy that owns 7 Britas but drinks pond water. I have a really good filter. I just don't use it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Um, I know, I think I know what games I'm going to talk about. Um, I might think of an extra one to throw in depending on how long we end up going.
Okay.
But I'm basically going to talk about Animal Crossing.
Mm.
Uh, uh, I'm going to do a duo of Subnautica into Below Zero. With like Subnautica 1 into Subnautica Below Zero as like a
Okay.
whole.
Yes.
Because that is something I played this year. I played Subnautica this year. That wasn't last year. I played it this year.
Yeah,
Or
that's
maybe it was this
correct.
year.
You tried last year and you didn't finish.
Yeah, and then I'm going to talk about Sekiro because I played that also this year. Uh,
Yes.
and beat
And you're
that. So
playing it
those
again.
well, I'm done.
Oh yeah.
I'm done. It's 100%. It's complete. It's on the shelf. I uninstalled it.
Well, yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to talk about. Uh, and I'm sure I'll mention this. I'll mention it later, like when we officially deem that we are talking. We are recording. I know you're literally recording, but
Yeah, I'm
uh,
using this.
yeah. We'll talk about Animal Crossing on a future date, I imagine, because like you're gonna start playing it later, and then I'm gonna have a lot more time to play it, and then the new update's gonna come out, and then we're gonna have a lot to talk about probably with the new update, I imagine.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and for names, I have no idea because names are hard because it's basically just like a tagline, right? So it can be fucking like anything. It can be like anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
The fucking anything podcast. Fuck you.
yeah, I was like, we should just be the rambling men. We're gonna ramble.
Yeah.
It's gonna be no. We're gonna go off into. You can talk about video games into how I wanted to drive into oncoming traffic today or something.
Yeah, because
Like
those animals were so fucking funny.
they were so funny.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah, so it'll correlate somehow.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna talk about. I mean, we're both gonna talk about Battlefield 6 is the big thing because we both have a lot to say on that game.
We
Um,
want to start with that.
let's save that towards the end. I think that'll be like the
Yeah.
main crux of the episode. Is we'll do Battlefield 6 at the end. In the meantime, I have more to say about Arc Raiders because I played several more hours today.
Hmm. All right. Let's hear it.
I actually just finished playing it like before we hopped in this call. Um, and it's good. I like Arc Raiders a lot. The more I play it, the more I like it. It's it's becoming like pretty addictive. It's so easy to just get out of one raid and then go back in like right away because there's no like downtime really between matches if you don't want there to be. So the biggest comparison is Tarkov, right? Escape from Tarkov. You know, there have been other little indie games here and there that have tried to capitalize on like the extraction shooter genre, since Escape from Tarkov still has a lot of issues since the big like cheater, not scandal necessarily, but just like, you know, what was it, like 2 years ago now? Uh, that one guy, was it Pestily or was it someone else? I think it was someone else. Um,
Well, I'll know depending on who you're talking about.
it was that one guy that made the video exposing just how prevalent cheaters were in Tarkov by doing the wiggle strat. Um,
Yeah, I don't know who did it, but I feel like if it was Pestily, I would. I like to believe it was just someone like decent in the scene that we like didn't watch. Fact checking.
I
Travis,
am
fact check.
fact checking. Goat. His
Yeah,
channel name is just Goat. Yeah.
it was just someone we probably like didn't know, but was like big in the scene. So.
Yeah, that video's got 4.4 million views of his like I cheated in Tarkov and this is what it was like video.
Because like yeah, I mean, I think people kind of forget, or like maybe the younger generation, not younger as in we are young, but like
mhm.
slightly younger, may not know that like Tarkov was like the game of the summer when like that was popping. Uh, like everyone was playing Tarkov. Like that was the biggest game at like one point in time.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
argue that it popularized, and this is not a hard argument to make. It definitely like popularized the extraction shooter genre. I don't even know if any other games that were doing that before Tarkov. Not off the top of
no,
my head.
I think I've always thought that as well. I think it was like the Fortnite of extraction shooters.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Uh,
Um, so yeah, Tarkov has a lot of issues where it's got the cheaters. The game is very system intensive, so it's kind of difficult to run it. And unfortunately, it's one of those games where certain visual settings matter. If your game looks better or worse than some people's, you could argue that that gives other people a visual advantage that makes it so that they can see you clearer and you're obscured to them or whatever. Um, and then we're not even going to get into it because there's so much to talk about with Tarkov, but there was that whole monetization scandal where they basically went back on a ton of promises they made as far as like if you bought the Edge of Darkness edition or whatever it's called, I think that's what it's called, you get all the future content, but then they were like, actually we're adding 2 more tiers and it's like $200 and EOD
that was a big deal.
That was a huge deal. It was a massive thing, and
Because it was essentially like almost like a rug pull.
yeah, and there's the thing with the geopolitical aspect of it all, where it's a Russian developer and they spoke out in support of Russia during, well, it's still going on, but they made a statement on the Russia-Ukraine war where that was like first kind of happening. And they came out on the side of Russia. So it's a shit show. It's just Tarkov is a shit show. And I've tried to go back to it and I just can't. It's not very it's fine. It just doesn't have the same hooks as it used to, in my opinion. And so because of that, a lot of people have been feeling the same way and have been wanting a new extraction shooter to take its place. And there have been a few others, like Delta Force is the first one that comes to mind, and then like 1 or 2 others that I don't remember off the top of my head.
And I'll tell you, I tried Delta Force and it was not very good.
Yeah, there was one that like was getting a lot of traction during a closed beta, and then it released, and then it just tanked because it launched with a ton of issues. And I don't know if it's still even up on Steam. I think it might have gotten pulled. I don't remember. But basically everyone that's tried has failed. You can go onto the extraction shooter tag on Steam and see probably a good number of them, and pretty much all of them, at least all the ones that I've seen, have like, if not negative reviews, mixed reviews, like not even mostly positive. And people cite all sorts of things like it's just not fun, there's cheaters, yada yada yada.
Yeah, I don't know if like Arc Raiders was hyped up, because I actually never heard about it until it came out.
Yeah.
But I feel like the extraction shooter people were most looking forward to was that new Bungie marathon game.
Yes, but that has been delayed indefinitely, even still.
Yeah, and then it had the AI scandal with that too, and like people the extraction shooter genre is a wanted genre, and all we had to look forward to was that Bungie thing. We were so dry.
I was looking forward to Marathon, honestly, and I'm not like the biggest Destiny fan, but I was like, this looks cool. And then there was a closed beta or a closed alpha or something, and then people were like, yeah, there's a ton of issues, like it's not very fun, there's too much going on, I can't really tell like what certain things are or what they're doing. And I was like, that
And then
sucks.
like the people were like, the combat's just Destiny combat but toned down even. And
Yeah,
it was like,
but
it
our
ended up not
creators,
having a lot for it, and now it's delayed.
yeah, and our creators was hyped. um I have a friend that was looking forward to it all year. I didn't really know much about it. Never really bothered to look into it, but as soon as it came up on Steam, it was like one of the most wishlisted games right away. Made by the same people who made the finals, which we've gone on record. You and I have said that neither of us are very big fans. Let's just put it that way, of the finals. Um, and
Yeah, and
so,
it's not for any particular reason besides just I don't find the gameplay loop entertaining.
yeah,
But like, I think the game runs well. I think the game feels well to play, and I think the game looks fantastic.
I
But the
agree.
gameplay loop, I think the gameplay loop is just something I am not a fan of at all when it comes to the finals.
Yeah,
Um, oh, it's not like I have any bad feelings towards it, because I remember you when you were telling me about Arc Raiders, you're like, I don't know if it's a turnoff, but it's made by the guys who made the finals. I was like, oh no, that's probably
yeah,
like, if they make another game, it might be really good, because everything about finals was good except for the game. So like,
yeah.
maybe it's good. Maybe it's actually okay.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the finals. But Arc Raiders is very good. People have been saying it. It's like it's a very kind of casual almost version of an extraction shooter. I've heard it referred to as the employed person's Tarkov, um, or Tarkov for your dad,
Not
things like
fun.
that. Yeah. Um, but it's good. It's fun. It's very simple gameplay loop wise. You just go in, you get stuff, and you leave. The maps are a lot smaller. You can go through the whole map pretty quickly. Like you can run across it relatively quickly. Um, the matches only last 30 minutes. So in Tarkov, I think the time was like an hour, and this is half that. Um, it's got a lot of ways to keep you playing. So for instance, and again, I'm just gonna keep making Tarkov comparisons because again, that's like the big thing.
Yeah, you compare Binding of Isaac to Zelda. Like,
Yeah,
you're just gonna do that.
yeah. Um, the like in Tarkov, the big thing was that when there were a couple of things that were getting in the way of you fully maximizing the time spent playing. Um, the big thing was after a raid, if you took damage, you had to heal. Um, or you could use healing items to heal whatever body parts you got injured, or you could wait and they would heal naturally, but it would take a long time. And if you didn't want to bring in your PMC, your like main character, you could bring in a burner character called a scav, where it's basically you play as one of the NPCs and you get random starting loot, and it's usually like, it's when you're broke and you're just trying to get something and leave, or you're exploring certain parts of the map, is whatever. But there was a timer on the scav. You could only do it once every like 15 or so minutes, 15-20 minutes, and after you ended your scav run, whether you extracted or died, you'd have to wait. It'd be on cooldown. Arc Raiders does not have that. Arc Raiders, you get a free loadout. It has restrictions. You get random low tier loot, but you will always get certain things. You will always get a gun and ammo for the gun. You will always get a few bandages, some kind of grenade or equipment that you can use, one shield recharger, at least. You get a starting shield, and that's it. Your inventory is smaller. Your carrying capacity is less, and you don't get a save slot, like a reserve slot, to keep any loot that you collect if you die, because every character has, it's like the you're like what do they call them, your alpha case in Tarkov. You had a
Yeah,
little thing
exactly.
that you could put loot in, and if you died you still get it. You don't get that with the free loadout, but there's no cooldown. You can join, and sometimes you'll join in the middle of the match 15 minutes in, sometimes you join at the start. um you basically have free reign to do whatever you want, and it's still like your character. It still looks how your character looks. It's just a different loadout. Um, and then you can bring in your own raider and do that. Same with Tarkov. There, you have to bring in your own gear and loot, and if you die, you lose all your gear. You don't have to heal after the match or anything like that. Um, Making equipment to bring in is pretty easy. Getting resources to build equipment is pretty easy. You have a passive source of basic parts via a chicken in your hideout, which you have right away. The chicken will automatically, over time, collect resources for you to just have. So you always have basic parts to craft with. That's very nice. Um, all of the vendors are available pretty quickly, and quests get unlocked pretty quick as well. There's a skill tree where you can dump points into, just little buffs like increased movement speed, more stamina. You make less noise when looting, things like that. uh Different areas on the map unlock per level. It's a level by level basis, so you always have new places to explore. It's just good. It's just I could talk about it all day. I'm not going to keep going on for too long, but it's a great game. It's only $40. I think it's 100% worth it. There is a battle
Yeah,
pass.
that's such like I feel like some of the reasons why it's so successful is the price. Like
Yeah.
for I'm seeing that a lot. I feel like well, not a lot, but like when it comes to success, people are developers are saying the game market is kind of high right now, and all AAA games are $70 or $80 now, and a lot of indie devs are like we're gonna make a game 30, 40, some are 20 like bucks, and people are like, fuck yeah, let's just do
Yeah.
that.
That's the
Buy
sweet
that.
spot.
Yeah.
um there so I have talked to you about this before, but I was like, oh, the community is very nice, especially in solos. I kind of wish they were a little less nice, because I'm not getting in very many gunfights and I feel bad killing people. um and that has changed a little bit. I think it's because I'm unlocking newer areas and going there, so there's like higher tier loot. But I have gotten killed more today than I have in my however many hours playing. I've only had it for 2 days. This is my second day owning it, so I guess that's not really an apt comparison. But I've gotten killed a lot today from people. I've not gotten betrayed. No one's ever come up to me and been like, I'm friendly, and then shoot me. But we have, I have
But it will.
definitely, it will happen for sure. And I have had a rough go at it. I would help someone out, and then we'd part ways, and then immediately I'd get shot by someone else. And I usually can't see them. They're kind of just shooting me for no reason. I was especially irritated because I was just trying to kill the robots to get parts from them to upgrade my crafting benches. So that was really annoying. I was having a really good run. I was just like getting some more ammo from one thing to leave. And then I got shot, and I was really pissed. VoIP is built in. VoIP is very often used, honestly. A lot of people talk to each other, and when they don't, there is a built-in emote system that says like, hey there, friendly, don't shoot, let's team up, things like that. People use that a lot as well.
Yeah.
I often use that because I don't feel super comfortable in random VoIP a lot of the time. I'm not very I don't really like talking to strangers in my multiplayer video games. That's neither here nor there. And sometimes I do, just to like communicate. Um, I've had several instances where we've teamed up with random people, and I had one today that just happened, and I want to talk about it because I thought it was really cool. So, robots explore. Nope, cut that part. Robots. Wow, I can't think of anything. The words. There are robots that patrol the map, and if they see you, they will kill you or summon more robots. And there are different tiers. So there's this little flying guy called a snitch. If it spots you, it'll call in like 3 flying robots that have guns and tasers and stuff on them. They're really annoying. But then there are big ones too. There's like this giant just orb. It looks almost like the robot from The Incredibles, kind of. It's like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's not the legs aren't as big, but it's like this big round robot that's like marches around. That's the bombardier, and it will like shoot missiles from its back and like bomb you. And they're really tough to take down, or they can be, especially solo, because they're very armored. And the only part of this game that has any semblance of Tarkov's like ammo system, because Tarkov had that system with ammo. If you know it's how good, what penetration do your bullets have versus what penetration resistance do the guy you're shooting at, what does their armor have? So if you were using
depending on the bullet, some people it's just impossible to kill.
Yeah, if you were using like a Makarov with like this little tiny like 8mm whatever the fuck bullets, and somebody was wearing like an armor plated tack vest of like a high tier, they wouldn't even puncture, and it wouldn't do anything. It literally wouldn't do anything. That's not in this game. The only semblance of that is the different weapons have different penetration levels for the armor on the robots. So there's a battle rifle. It's single shot. You have to reload every time. It's got high armor penetration. And then there's a pistol that has very weak armor penetration. And when it says that, it means it. Like you can shoot the unarmored parts just fine, but there's this one flying robot called the Hornet that has a taser on it. It's got 4 like propellers on the side. The back 2 are not armored. The front 2 are. And if you have the pistol and that's it, you better aim for those back 2, because you're gonna dump a couple of mags into the front 2 before you get them gone.
Yeah, so it's just it's like Tarkov. It's a level of like skill ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just got to know what you're doing, what does what.
Yeah, the robots have weak points. Well, and it will tell you. The weapons tell you, like, it'll say like arc armor penetration level, like very minimal or high, and it says it. And you don't need different ammos or anything for different penetration. This is a pistol. It uses light ammo. It doesn't penetrate well. So there is this giant flying robot that has a very wide cone of vision, and if it sees you, it will shoot rockets at you, and rockets can kill you in like 2 shots. They're very, very powerful. And this thing's fast as fuck too. And this guy, I was in this multi-storied building, and this guy below me just started shooting at it, and I was like, he must just be hunting these things, because they have good parts that you can sell for a lot or use in crafting recipes. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll help this guy out, because that thing's huge, and we're in solo lobbies, so everyone's a solo. And so I started shooting with him, and we killed it, and it was really cool. We like teamed up. It like flew into the building that we were in, because it was like this giant empty warehouse. It like flew inside, and we had to like run for cover. It was really cool, and we killed it. And he was just like, hey, if you want that loot, you can have it. I was just I'm just hunting robots for XP. And I was like, okay, cool. I go down and I loot it, and I start walking, and a few feet away, like I can see it, there's this giant robot called like the Orbiter, and it's got like a giant machine gun on the front. And I see that it's like hurting and people are shooting at it, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll take some pot shots. So I put a few rounds in it downrange to like draw aggro. And that's what it does. It turns to me, and then everyone else like kills it because I drew the aggro, and I got XP for it because I contributed.
Well, speaking back to like how we were talking about Marathon, who was made by Bungie, who did Destiny. I think that's one of the things that like Destiny did like perfectly was you would go and I don't know how much Destiny you played, but I played a ton of Destiny 1, like a shit ton of it. And you would just like be going to, your mission or whatever, and on the way there you're gonna see like bosses and stuff, and just people shooting at them, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want to join in too. Just be like, fuck, I want to help these guys. And in that game all you get is experience, but it's that same, it's like camaraderie. You just, all these guys are trying to take down this one fucking boss, and it's really cool, and you can join in and help take it down or die trying.
Yeah, and like you get the XP too, so you're like incentivized to help. It's like, hey, they're already fighting it. If you want a lot of XP, you should just join in.
Yeah, Destiny also had a really good sense of exploration. There are a ton of like just secret areas in Destiny that missions will never take you to, and you can find secret like enemies and bosses there.
Yeah.
So it sounds kind of similar in that regard, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is very cool. And I helped these guys kill this thing, and they're like, oh, friendly. And I'm like, yeah, we're good. And it's like 2 people, and I guess at some point they shot this other guy, and that guy was mad. He was like, oh, friendly? Now that you shot me, now you're friendly? And they're just like, man, shut up. And he's like, oh, fuck you. And then he dies. And whatever. So me and these 2, they're like, hey, man, help yourself, because the bigger the robot, the more loot there is, because it breaks into multiple parts, and all the parts can be like looted for multi-item like slots. And then the 3 of us are looting this thing, and like 2 or 3 more people roll up, and there's kind of that tense moment where it's like, are you gonna fuck us? And they're like, no, we're all friendly too. And everyone's a solo. You can't be in a squad if you're a solo player and you don't autofill. At least I haven't ever come across a squad. I've only ever come across solos. And so we all are just like picking stuff off of this thing, and we're trading loot, and everyone's like, yeah, help yourself. There's plenty of loot to go around. There's like a couple of these things lying around. And then we're just like, oh, whatever. And then like 1 or 2 guys like, buzz off and go do their own thing. But we've got a group of like 6 people now, 6 solo players. I don't know how many people can be in a lobby, but I feel like that's close to all of us. Because again, these maps are not very big. And
yeah, maybe it's like 9 or 8 or something.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. I'm not gonna do that right now. But we were just like, you guys want to extract? And we're just like, fuck it, yeah. And then one guy is like, oh, I actually have a key for an extract near here. And then we're like, cool, lead the way. So we follow this guy, and then we're almost there. He's like, oh, fuck, sorry, guys. I checked my inventory. I don't actually have the key. And I was like, and now everyone's gonna get shot. But no, we just re-diverted. We were just like, okay, this extract's closing in 5 minutes. We got plenty of time to get over there. Let's go. So we just start moving as a squad of solo players through this like giant desert area. Another robot, a big one, shows up. It's called a leaper. It's basically just this orb on like 4 legs, and it's huge. And we're just like, do we want to take it down? And it spots us, and I'm just like, I think we have to now. And so everyone's shooting at it, and I'm out of ammo now. And I tell them like, oh, sorry guys, I'm out of ammo. I throw a couple grenades, nothing happens. We eventually kill it, and somebody goes down in the process. And they're like, well, I'm dead. Sorry guys, bye. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Because you can't just pick up people that aren't in your squad. You have to have an item called a defibrillator. I just so happened to spawn with a defib because I was using my free loadout. So I'm like, hold on, I got you. And I picked them up. They were like, oh shit, thanks. I was like, yeah. We're in this. And we have 2.5 minutes. We run a few hundred meters. We get to the extract. But like as we're rolling up on this thing, another one of the giant flying robots that shoot rockets spots us, and all of us are just like, fuck, this is not good. And it's bombing us now, and I'm just like, fuck. I go, and you have to like call the elevator, and you have to wait for it to come up. So I call the elevator. I'm just running around. Everyone's like shooting at it. We're not doing anything to this thing. It's surviving. And it's like taking pot shots at us. We're running around like a bunch of fucking ants after you kick their fire, like their fucking nest. And eventually it comes up, and people are down. People are dying. Like, but you can crawl. You have a good amount of health to crawl. So we're just like, fuck, everyone get in. Like Saving Private Ryan ass moment. Everyone gets in, they're like, wait, and then they dive in. All the downed people are crawling in. They're like, close it. I'm closing the door. It takes a while because you have to fucking type on the keyboard and then pull a lever, and then it closes, and like half of us are down, the other half are alive, and we're like, holy shit, we all made it. And everyone, all 6 people that we teamed up with extracted. It was crazy. I was like, that was fucking cool.
It's cinema.
It was cinema. It was like 10 minutes of pure cinema. It was very cool. Sick. Yeah, and you won't get that in Tarkov, because Tarkov, it's literally just like, it's either shoot on sight or you get duped, or it's like, oh, like the only extraction points that you can team up with, specifically that you have to team up with, are like combo extracts where you have to have a player character and a scav character that someone's playing, and 90% of the time you're not going to do that. And when you do, you can start extracting, and then there's this tense moment of like, are you going to shoot each other? I don't know. I've never had that before in like a multiplayer game where like all of these people collectively decided, hey, it's better off if we just don't kill each other. Because when it gets to that point, when there's 6 people, there's not really a point to do it, because everyone has very limited like storage space and carry capacity. So even if you kill all 5 other people, you can't carry everything. You just can't. You might be able to pick off, a couple of good pieces from everyone, but you're probably not going to survive that firefight anyway, because you're pretty squishy. I don't know. It's a good game. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it in my mouth. Cut that.
No, don't cut that.
No. It's a good game. Regardless, it's a good game. I'm gonna be playing it a lot.
I'm definitely gonna get it, and so hopefully we can talk about it in the future.
Yes, we can squad up. A lot more firefights happen in squads as well.
I'm looking forward to it. I do have one final thing, I guess, if we're getting close to being done.
Yeah.
Do you think the game being more casual will make its longevity better, or do you think it's worse off because of its being casual in like the long run?
I think that that's a tough question. I think that it being casual helps bring in new players, because it's very easy to figure out what's going on. Like, you can pick it up very easily if you know how extraction shooters work. And I think if you don't know how extraction shooters work, you can still probably pick up on it pretty quickly. So it's good. The price point's good for that as well. There are definitely gonna be people that take it very seriously, especially when the meta develops more and like people start getting more resources. Because everyone right now has like white and green guns, mostly white. Everyone's using like the same handful of weapons. Uh, the only blue weapon I've ever seen is in the gunsmith bench. You can craft a blue weapon, but the bench has to be level 3, which requires a lot of stuff. Um, and there are definitely areas where there are like more spots where rare loot can spawn, and they mark it on the map of like this loot is medium, this loot is like high chance of rare loot area. There's one point on the map called the spaceport that has a couple of them, and they're pretty big. And that seems to be like the big that seems to be, at least from what I'm aware of, that's like the lab's equivalent so far. I could be completely wrong. I barely played this game, but that seems like the spot where everyone goes to like get big loot and fight. I've only gone there in practice, and that's actually where I went to. That's where my scenario happened, was at spaceport, I think. Um, so I don't know. I think that it's gonna, if it dies in the future, I think it's going to be over two things. I think if there is a high prevalence of cheaters, that's going to be an issue, but the devs have already stated that they're like cracking down on that pretty hard already. They're like fighting it pretty hard already. So it's a matter of how many cheaters are there going to be, how well are the devs gonna be able to combat those cheaters, and what's the monetization gonna look like, because there is a battle pass. I don't know how much it costs. It probably costs like $20 or $25. There is a store for cosmetics. I think the battle pass, actually, you don't pay for the battle pass. Like there are unlockable things, and it's free to unlock, and you get currency by doing dailies, and then you can buy stuff there. But I think you get like a boost if you buy the pass. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass at this point. The monetization seems fine. It seems to be pretty much exclusively cosmetic. I think if they start selling like weapons, or like premium gear or anything like that that actually affects the game, that's going to be an issue. So if they just keep it to cosmetics, it's fine. If they keep the cheaters at bay, it's fine. If they keep updating it, that's going to be a big thing too, because to be honest, there's a lot there, but I can definitely see it getting old within the next year. If it's just this, there's going to need to be content updates where they release new areas or update areas or do events or something like that. I think it'll help, at least, if they do that. So I think it's got some legs to stand on. I hope that it has a long life and that it doesn't fuck up like so many live service games do.
Yeah.
Yes. Your turn. What do you want to talk about?
I'll start with Subnautica. I think that would be a good one. So Subnautica hit indie game where you are on an alien planet that is all water, or mostly water. Some islands here or there, specifically in the Arctic, there are more land mass. But it had always been a game that interested me, because my biggest fear, personally, is the deep sea.
Yeah.
But as much as I'm scared of it, I'm also fascinated by it. And that's why Subnautica was always a game that intrigued me. And I got it. I got it on the Xbox way back in the day when I used to play on Xbox. But it was too much for me. I played a little bit of it, a couple hours, and it got to the point. Literally, this is real. where I got to like the salt, the basalt biome or whatever, and uh, where it's just like open and there's just salt everywhere, and it's like there's
Yes.
like
Yeah.
ferns, and the cries of the whales, made me cry. I
Yeah.
like I was so scared.
The whales, by the way. So the biome you're talking about is the blood kelp zone, which is like not not as scary as it makes it sound. It's just called that because there's like red kelp everywhere, and that's like the main like grass equivalent. And the whales you're talking about they are huge and intimidating, but they float like almost at the surface, and they are completely 100% passive.
Yeah, they're not aggressive
Yeah.
in
So
in any.
you were totally freaking out over like the completely wrong thing, which is fine because they also scared the shit out of me when I started. I think they did that
Yeah,
for everyone because you just see this huge thing and you're like, that's scary, and then it makes a horrible noise and you're like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
yeah, and I didn't play it for years. I put it off because I was like too much for me. And honestly, I think I like forgot about it after a while. I don't remember what sparked it back up that I wanted to play it again.
I think I mentioned
Um,
that I was playing it.
oh yeah, I do think that's
Yeah.
I do think that's
Because
what it was.
I went back to it because I had never finished it either. I've owned Subnautica since early access, and I really struggled to run it, and then I got a good computer, and I got very close to the end because there is an end. I got very close to the end, and I just never beat it because I freaked out. I was like, I'm in the deepest parts of the ocean. There's too much going on, and it got to the point where I put it off for so long that I didn't know where to pick up. And earlier, yeah, it must have been this year. Earlier this year, I was like, you know what? I've had this game for literally like I don't even know, like a decade. I don't know how long that game's been out.
It's
It's
been out since like it's been out for like a decade. I think 2015, early access in
Yeah,
2015.
that sounds about right. Um, like I've had this game for so long and I've not beaten it at all, so I'm gonna go beat it. And then I like ran through it, and then that reignited the flame within you.
Yeah, and I remember I remember I felt really I felt kind of like I lack for lack of a better term of like a burden because I was really into it, but like I was so scared that like I had trouble doing things on my own, so I was asking you and our other buddy Thomas for help like constantly. Like I was like, where do I go now? Like basically it was like I was like I don't want to drift aimlessly because it's too terrifying.
Yeah,
And you guys had to be like, go here, do this, and like I wanted that, but I felt bad because I was like, this isn't how you're supposed to play the game. Um, but after a while, I just did it all on my own. And by the time I got to like the Lost River, I didn't need to ask for help anymore. Uh, and like I absolutely loved it. I think it's definitely in my top 10 indie games of all time.
yeah,
But I will say I am biased because I think it's only in my top 10 because of how it's also like scary. I see Subnautica as a horror game. Like I truly do. Uh,
100%. It is. It's a survival horror game.
so in that regard, that's why I like it so much. But like, there's people like Tyler who do not see any fear in that situation, in
Hmm.
that kind of game. So they're not that interested in it because Tyler's talked about it before, uh, where he's been like, I don't really have an interest in Subnautica because he's just not scared of it. It's almost like people who like Subnautica are the people who want to be scared of it.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to be kind of masochistic to play Subnautica.
okay, I summoned the devil, I guess, because Tyler's calling me.
Oh my god.
Give me one moment.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
we'll pause. We'll pause. Okay, we're good.
Uh, sorry everyone. My buddy Tyler, good friend of the podcast that's not established yet. Gave me a call. He's out running errands. He wanted to see if I wanted to join him, and I said, "Fuck no, talking. I'm talking to the screen."
No.
I said, "So I'm talking to the screen people, man. I don't got time for this shit." I'm joking. I want to. I like it. I want to go out. I hate this. I hate everything.
Well, we
My
hate
balls.
you too. We hate you too.
Okay, so Subnautica, fantastic game. I enjoy. I like it a lot. I think here are my thoughts on it. It's spread out in a way that's so unique. Like the world's kind of like a circle, and there's biomes spread around it in a really specific certain way. Uh, where at the beginning it's the same biomes, like the first few biomes around your starting location is going to be the same, but then once you get out, there's only one blood kelp biome, or like the lightning kelp or whatever it is, and then there's only one floating island biome the further you go out. And then the Lost River, it also has a vertical aspect where there's biomes underground, and that's like the end goal is you go really deep. You have to go like to the deepest, basically the core of the planet, uh, to win the game. That's where like you get your final items you need. Uh, in that way, it's structured really well. But I think you agree with this, and you even told me the, to beat the game, you have to do a final grind of materials to build a ship, and that final grind is really tedious and it's not particularly fun.
Yes.
Um, Specifically because travel from the Lost River or even lower, like where the Sea Dragon is, to the top where you build the ship is really tedious. So you better collect all the material you need before you leave, because you won't be wanting to come back, and you might have to.
Yeah.
And I've played the game like 3 times now, and I basically quit now by the time I get to the end. Like when it's time to build the ship to leave, I'm like, okay, I'll as far as I'm concerned, I've beaten the game. I'm not building the ship.
Yeah, honestly, that was. I know I said earlier that I stopped because I got too scared. I think I'm misremembering. I think I stopped because I didn't want. Excuse me. I think I stopped because I didn't want to grind for that final ship. It was really, really annoying. And I only got to like maybe the first tier out of like. It's like a 3 or 4 tier process.
Yeah, it's like 4 tiers of really like a lot of late game upgrades.
Late game upgrades and like base materials in large amounts, to the point where you're gonna still have to go pretty far to get those, more than likely, because the resources in this game are finite, and they spawn at certain points and then they don't respawn. So for example, like the starting area has these little rocks that you break open, and inside the rocks there are ores. They're like deposits, basically. Once you break that deposit, it's gone. It doesn't come back.
So, yeah, they don't respawn.
Yeah. So if you need titanium, you need a lot of titanium to build that last ship. If you scooped up all the titanium around you, which you probably did, it's going to be really hard to build more stuff, and so you're gonna have to go farther out just to collect base materials, because now your resources are limited. I know I had to do that, and that was really annoying.
I agree, and I'll say more than titanium, because like there's so much titanium. Copper's probably going to be the hard one.
Oh my god, copper.
Copper is probably the second base material. However, it is probably not the hardest, but it's the most tedious explore to find because you need so much copper.
Yes,
Uh,
because
and
it's in everything.
yeah, but it's not as plentiful as even like let's say gold.
Yeah.
So like you're gonna find less copper than gold, lithium, lead, titanium, and by the time you get down to it, diamonds and like the blue crystals, whatever they're called.
Well, it's not even that you'll find less than those. It's that you'll find plenty, but you'll use it all while playing the game. You'll almost never have reserves of copper because you'll need it for technologies and upgrades and building new things and crafting more batteries, which are essential to everything is battery powered. And
Yeah, it's not surprising if you end up with like a locker of like 20 spare batteries.
yeah, and it's again, it's not that there's not enough copper to like it's not that copper is scarce. It's that it's used in everything.
Copper's used more than titanium, like by the end of the game. Like quickly, honestly.
Yes.
You're using titanium the most at the beginning of the game, and I'm like not even kidding, like an hour in. If you know what you're doing, 30 minutes in, copper's in everything.
Yeah, titanium's more for like base building. And you know what else is in base building? Fucking copper.
Yep, you need copper for literally everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of hell.
Yeah.
But the game itself, I think, is great. I do think it's funny that I don't know if you know this, but you can kill the leviathans.
Yes.
There are big. The game is full of sea creatures. For those who don't know, there's many docile, non-angry creatures that won't attack you, but there are some huge, scary creatures, fish creatures that will kill you. And the big ones are usually called leviathans. Leviathan doesn't inherently mean they're bad. There are docile leviathans.
Yeah.
Leviathan basically just means big.
Yeah. The whales are technically Leviathan class life forms is what they're called.
Yeah. The whales are leviathans, but they're completely docile and will not attack you at all.
Yeah, they don't. They just float.
The main threat of the game is the Reaper Leviathan, and it like has prongs or claws on its mouth. It kind of looks like a predator in that regard.
Yeah, we'll throw up an image. We'll throw up an image here since it's gonna be on YouTube.
That thing will kill you. It is the prime predator of the game, and they make like a horrendous sound that can be heard like a miles away, even underwater. However, if you know what you're doing, you can kill those things, and it's really funny. Particularly like the main method in which you can do it, which is there's a weapon you can get called a stasis gun, and it just freezes a moment in time with anything in it, and it works on a Reaper Leviathan. So if they swim into the stasis like bubble you make, they freeze. And there are these other creatures that are pretty docile, but they get scared and they leave spores behind. You can pick up those spores and you can pop them into the stasis bubble, and if you pop enough in, it will kill the Reaper Leviathan.
Wow, I didn't know that's what you did to do that. I see people use like the knife or like the drill or anything like that to do it.
The drill makes a lot. The drill is like, honestly, the drill is probably the better way to go. However, because like collecting the spores and having the stasis rifle might be considered too much work. However, doing it with a knife seems like hell. You can kill like anything with the thermal knife, but that seems like hell. But people will play Subnautica, and they'll like by the end of the game they will have all the Reapers killed.
Yeah, and it's the same.
Fun.
Yeah, and it's the same with the resources too. The creatures are also limited.
The creatures do not. If you kill the Reaper Leviathans, they'll just never respawn.
Yeah, I think the like baseline like fish that you get for like food and water, I think those can respawn, but I don't really know.
Yeah, I'm not sure because like honestly, food and water isn't like that big of a deal because funny enough, it's less needed than even copper, food
Yeah,
and water.
you can solve that problem pretty quickly if you're proactive enough. I mean, there's
Yeah,
literally a very base level uh, addition that you can do for your base called the water filter, and it will just give you water every however many, like 20 minutes or so.
it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick.
Yeah,
You just you just kind of get water.
yeah.
Uh,
Uh, so yeah,
and the game's really good. I really like it. I will say like I don't think I think most people would agree the end game grind kind of sucks. Not kind of, just sucks. Um, but besides that, I think the game's pretty good. It does have like I think Subnautica is amongst the top tier of games where you're like, ah, I wish I could play it for the first time again, because it does kind of lose its luster once you know everything. Like that game was such. I love that game so much my first time playing it because I didn't know anything, and now it's like I know every biome, what's in it, and like which biomes are dangerous, and like so like you learn like half the biomes pretty much aren't dangerous. Like even if they have creatures that'll kill you, like you can evade them easily in like in your sea moth, and you know, like this biome isn't dangerous, and therefore I'm not scared of it. And there's only a couple biomes like that. Like even the Lost River isn't dangerous. Like you can get past the Ghost Leviathans pretty easily.
yeah,
Um, and like so like that kind of wears on replays. Like I'm just like I'm not as scared anymore. I still love the environments and all the sound. Specifically the sound design is phenomenal. um but you're just like, I know I'm going into this biome, I know it's perfectly fine, whereas my first playthrough I was like, I don't know what's here and I'm terrified.
yeah,
uh, and yeah, the game's really good. I love it a lot. It's definitely a game I wish I could replay for the first time. uh, but I still enjoy it, and I'm so looking forward to Subnautica 2. However, for fans who know, there is a second Subnautica game that's not called Subnautica 2. It's called Subnautica Below Zero. And at first, when I hadn't played the game, I believed that it was a standalone DLC, but it's not. It's just its own like side game. Um,
well,
and in my
I believe that it was intended to be DLC, and then they fleshed it out into its own game.
yeah, and uh, I hadn't played it because I just played Subnautica I think this year, or I started playing it last year, and I've played a lot of it too. I've played like 70 hours, or at least that's a lot for me. Uh, and so I love Subnautica 1 so much I played it 3 times in 1 year.
Yeah,
That I put 70 hours into it. That I was like, I gotta play Subnautica Below Zero, and I remember you, because you were playing Subnautica, which is why I wanted to start playing again. And then we were talking about Below Zero while I was playing Subnautica 1, and you were like, it's really, really bad, and everyone says it's really, really bad. And I was like, I was, in my naivete, was like, there's no way it's that bad. It's just more Subnautica. And you couldn't really explain it, but I remember you're like, okay, you're like, I'll give it a try again. And you gave Below Zero, you played it a little bit more, and we talked about it afterwards. And you're like, yeah, it's shit. And I was like, I believe you. What you talked about like didn't sound very well. And then I was like, I'll probably enjoy it for like one playthrough because it's more Subnautica. And who boy was I wrong?
yeah. It's not more Subnautica, not necessarily.
No, I bought Below Zero not too long ago, but I didn't play it yet because I was fresh off the burner of like my third Subnautica 1 playthrough, and I think I need a little break. I finally played like 9, 10 hours of it or something, and I have not beaten it, and I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So the Below Zero starts quite differently than 1 because you start on land. There is land. There are a couple islands in Subnautica 1, but you're not. They don't have a lot to offer, resource-wise, and you're not on them for very long typically. They're either like a spectacle or maybe someplace you have to visit for a mission, and then like that's it. And because it's mainly a water game, that's its whole thing. Subnautica is a just an underwater game. You're going to like the center of the planet or whatever, down to like the lava levels even underwater.
I have a question. Is it an underwater game?
I don't know. Well, like it might be, but I haven't played.
Yeah. The streets are saying it's possible, but no one's confirmed it.
Subnautica Below Zero would have you think otherwise, that it might not be a fucking water game. And that's among other reasons, that's why it's so bad. One thing they changed for absolutely no reason is you have certain vehicles you can use in the game. In Subnautica 1, you have a sea moth. It's just a little vehicle you can use to travel around, and it's awesome. I don't have any complaints about the sea moth. I don't think anyone does. I think people are like the sea moth. I think it's a good thing. They replaced it in Below Zero with something called the sea truck, and it's a lot bigger for some reason, specifically vertically, and it fucking sucks. And the problem with that, you might say, okay, what's the problem with that? Is that everywhere you go, like all the biomes in Below Zero, and this is the biggest difference, because it's not like this in Subnautica 1, the biomes are tight. They're really linear, really tight, vertical biomes.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of exploration. It's just tight, and you're looking for typically one item, and like you're out of there.
Yeah, there are very tight cave systems early on that, and this was a big reason why I stopped playing, was I would take my sea truck down there and I would just be fucking knocking into walls and like offshoots, and it was a fucking pain in the ass, but you don't really have a choice, because if you get out, you're gonna run out of oxygen, so you need to like find a place to park it, but you can't really park it anywhere nice. It's just not good.
It sucks.
Yeah, the world design, as in like the aesthetics, are awesome. Like it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. The creatures are awesome. Like the visual design and the audio, that's still there. It's everything else is a problem.
Yeah, it's visually, honestly, I would say visually it's quite the upgrade. I think everything has a gleam and polish to it that even the first game doesn't have. The first game looks fantastic in its own right. I just think they really, really pumped it up for Below Zero.
Mm-hmm.
But it's truly the gameplay that falls completely short. And this might seem extreme, but I think everything that makes Subnautica 1 good is practically gone in Below Zero gameplay wise.
Yeah.
Another thing they changed that doesn't make any sense to me is that they changed a lot of the crafting recipes.
Yeah.
They made certain things, but they practically made everything more expensive, except for the fact that this might just be a little bit of a rambling, but in the original game it costs 10 titanium to make a titanium ingot, but in Below Zero it takes 5 titanium to make a titanium ingot, and like besides that, everything else practically is more expensive. Mm-hmm. And it's just the stuff they didn't need to change. I can only assume they changed it because the density at which you get certain items are different. because unlike Subnautica 1, you get diamonds pretty quickly in Below Zero.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas diamond is seen as like a late game item in the first game.
Yeah.
And then like I said at the start, one of the big problems is that you go on land a lot. There's a bunch of land in Below Zero because you're on you're in the Arctic part of them. You're on the same world as the first game, but you're on a different part of it that's the Arctic. And there's a lot of glaciers that you can walk on. And oh my god, this game was not meant for land at all. And there's half of the game is practically on land, and it's horrible.
Yeah.
The story isn't very good either. They implemented a much more heavy focus on story with aliens, because if you don't, I mean, the whole planet isn't literally an alien planet, but there's also like aliens.
Yeah.
That are
So
kind of like,
in the first Subnautica, there is a story, like there's a narrative. It's mostly told via like environment. Like there are audio logs of like previous survivors that give you insight on backstory of this planet, and then there's a actual narrative.
It's Resident Evil. You're finding notes that people wrote previously.
Yeah, and then you're also making discoveries as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're scanning Shay and writing stuff in like a notebook.
But you are a silent protagonist, and the story kind of takes a backseat, and it's more played for like. I mean, there are several times in the first Subnautica where like certain story beats happen and they're unsettling. Like they add to the unknown kind of horror of the whole thing, even though they don't turn out to be like anything super crazy. The story in Subnautica is like completely fine. The game would have been fine without it.
Yeah.
And in Below Zero, that's changed. The story is front and center. There is now multiple voiced characters, including your player character, and it's lame. The story is lame.
Yeah, some people like it, or at least most people enjoy some aspects about it. I'm definitely not one of those people. I really didn't care for it at all. It was unnecessary, and it was all. I'll just say I think it was completely a shoe-in because they do a whole like. Apparently, the story for Below Zero is integral to the story of the first game, but if you've played the first game, you know it's not true. But they try to do the whole like, oh, actually, we were here the whole time, and
They
it's
tried to
really
like retcon it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really obnoxious. And a lot of it takes place on land. Like I said, you do a lot of the story on land. There's a lot more people. There's literally like people you talk to, or not many, but there's specifically one person you talk to. That's probably it, actually. But there's your character is voiced now, and it is the whole like they do the whole Forsaken main character thing of like what, am I on an Arctic planet?
Yeah.
Is that a penguin? What the heck?
What the freaking fuck?
Is that a ginormous meat worm? Holy cow!
Yeah.
And it's bad, and I was really excited to play it just because of how much I was basically like, oh, I'll get to play more Subnautica that I haven't experienced for the first time, and I really wasn't having a good time.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate all the biomes. I think the creatures don't live up to any of the creatures in the first game. And they want you to go on land all the time, and it fucking sucks every time. And they shoehorn in the story, and I'm not invested, and I don't want to partake in it.
Yeah.
So I decided I would watch some gameplay. I watched some Let's Plays of it to see where it went and if I wanted to continue playing. And I'm really glad I stopped because it's the latter half of the game is like all land, and it sucks. It's also it's just heavy story too, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
It's just not enjoyable, and I love the first Subnautica. I think so highly of it, and Subnautica Below Zero is. I don't know if I feel comfortable saying it's a bad game, like objectively.
I think the
But
bigger problem is that it's a disappointing experience, and that goes it is disappointing because the first game has become kind of such a cult classic. And here's the other thing that it's I think this is relevant as well, because we were talking about, like price per value of video games and how people are like, oh yeah, this game's like pretty cheap and it's got a lot of content, this is great. Subnautica Below Zero is a significantly smaller game in every way.
it's more expensive than the first one.
It's not more expensive, it's the same price. The both of them, at least on Steam, both of them are $30.
Oh, yeah, I'm more of a console player. For the listeners, I do have a PC. I play on PC, but I have a PS5, and I usually play. When it comes to single player games, I usually stick to console. So I played Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero on console, and I got them both on sale. And Subnautica Below Zero, what is going on when it goes on sale? At least it's going for more, but that could just be because it came out more recently.
Yeah, it's newer. So
Yeah,
Below Zero came out in 1.0 in 2021. Subnautica came out in 1.0 in 2018. But you were right, it was in early access as early as 2015. The first Subnautica was, because I checked my account, and that's when I bought it.
Oh, I think what you said is true, and it made me think of what it is. I wouldn't call Subnautica a bad game, but I would call Subnautica a bad sequel.
Below Zero specifically.
Yeah, sorry. Below Zero is not a bad game, but it's a bad sequel.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm really looking forward to Subnautica 2. And yeah, I know there's a lot of drama involving it. From what I've heard, it doesn't really have to do with the main dev team. It has to do with Crafton, who acquired them. And from what I know, the game was practically all already finished before all the drama happened.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping and praying that it basically doesn't affect the game at all. And that it comes out really good. And I'm looking forward to it. And it's going to have multiplayer at launch, and I'm so fucking excited for that. So that's Subnautica.
That's Subnautica, and it's very good. We like it. I don't really know what else to talk about, because Lethal Company, I kind of just want to save that for when we have Thomas on, because we're going to rehash a lot of stuff.
Well, we should talk about Battlefield 6.
Okay. Yeah, we've already been recording for about an hour and 16 minutes now.
We can, I mean, hell, I'm fine with making Battlefield 6 the last thing to talk about.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm actually quite happy with like how the pacing's been.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're planning to have. I don't even know if you want to leave this in, but we're planning to have our buddy on next episode, Thomas, and we want to share some topics with him that he can talk about, like join us in talking about. And he is playing Battlefield 6 with us, however, not nearly as much as we're both playing it together otherwise. Thomas probably only has like 2-3 hours in the Battlefield 6, and we both have I have like 40 hours and you have like 50.
Yeah, I've got about 40. I've got 47.9 hours, and Thomas has played 5.4 hours.
Yeah,
So literally like a tenth of what we've played.
and I have 37 hours. And we did play a lot of the beta. I have 24 hours in the beta alone. So total, I have I'm going on 60 hours.
Yeah, you probably played double the amount of the beta that I did.
Yeah, because I played with Stefan and Thomas a lot without you.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you hate me. We get it.
yeah, true. Like I keep saying, I wouldn't hate you if your butt was bigger, but
I know. Let's get into discussion of Battlefield 6.
well, Jamshed keeps guiding our rockets, and all is well.
Yep, Jamshed keeps guiding our rockets.
Down with the big metal birds.
I have killed more. I've shot down more helicopters with RPGs in this game than I have in any other Battlefield, which means this Battlefield's just better by default.
Yeah, I think we have. So for those who don't know, Battlefield is kind of like the large-scale battle popular shooter.
Okay, everyone, let's not insult the intelligence of the listeners. Everyone knows what Battlefield is.
Okay, if the viewers don't know the ABCs,
viewers, if you don't know, you have to wake up sometimes, and then you have to go to sleep after that as well. You have to eat food. You have to drink water.
Viewers, if you don't know, sometimes you get hungry. You gotta eat. You gotta eat. So Battlefield 6 just came out not too long ago, like a month. It's been out for a month or something.
Yeah,
right?
about a month ago from recording this. It's been it's not been a month. It has been a month. It's been a month almost exactly.
I was gonna say almost exactly, right?
Yeah.
I will say, so we've talked about Battlefield 6 quite a lot in our privacy, because also we're just playing it together quite a lot. And I think we share a lot of the same issues. Maybe I'm a lot more extreme on some of them, as we might talk about. But one thing I noticed, you were talking about shooting down birds. I like that we both have kind of like our thing. Like, you fuck up helicopters, and I'm a tank buster. Like, if I see a tank, I will take it out by myself, like, no problem.
Yeah.
And you are like, I'm death to the metal birds. And
yeah, you make it a point to go for tanks, and I make it a point to go for helicopters, and I think that really shows that we hold a different, special kind of hate in our hearts for certain vehicles.
We're particular kind of hate.
I do definitely feel that I get killed more by aerial vehicles than anything else, and I also feel that you get killed more by land vehicles than anything else.
Yeah, I get killed by tanks like constantly, and like I get killed by helicopters sometimes, but tanks all the time. And I just, mainly because I don't know, I'm a dumbass, and I run out in the open all the time, and there's a tank, and it's like, oh, and I'm like, fuck, shit, who put this there? But it's been really fun. I have been feeling like, I don't know why, and I want to get into the deeper discussion of it, but I have been feeling like burnt out already. And like, I want to keep playing. Like, I'll probably, like, honestly, we should play after this pod. I'm down.
Yes.
But I have been getting burnt out already, and I don't know why. Because like, I want to love. I don't think I love the game. I think I really like it, but I don't love it, and I want to. And I think the biggest reason is it's not the other Battlefield games. I mainly think that in the maps.
Yeah.
They really fell. I like a lot of the maps, but they really fell flat in the map design, I think.
Yeah, and this has not necessarily been addressed by the devs, but it is a very common sentiment among the community right now, where the maps themselves, you know, people have certain maps that they like, they don't like, but the main issue that everyone has agreed with is they're too small. Battlefield's known for large scale, like just huge maps, specifically open maps that have a lot of, there are buildings, there's cover, things like that, but there are large sections of a lot of Battlefield maps in all of the games, that have just big open areas that you'll have to run across. And you could make the argument that by making the map smaller, it cuts down on downtime between firefights. And that's what has happened.
But that's kind of a problem.
It's gone to the extreme, to the point where there is almost no downtime ever between firefights, and it's exhausting, honestly, because the big thing for me with Battlefield was, there are sections where you're not really doing much, you're just kind of running between points, but I kind of like that because it gives you a break from the action, because the action in this game is awesome when shit is like
all the time.
Yeah, when shit is blowing up and people are running around and there's shots flying everywhere and tanks are rolling in, and it's crazy, it's mayhem, it's high octane auction, and it delivers that consistently.
It's probably the definition of high risk, high reward.
Well, I would just say that it's just blood pumping fun. You're always like under siege, and it's a good thing and a bad thing. There's never a dull moment, but at the same time, because there's never a dull moment, it does kind of wear on you. At least it does for me.
The thing about Battlefield, like all the other Battlefields, Battlefield 3, 4, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 1, is you will go, when there's downtime, because the maps are so big, you're getting a lay of the land, and like, I might need to go to this location, or I might need to go to this location, but the enemies are also doing that. So when you choose somewhere to go, there might not be as much happening, and you'll get a couple kills, and then you'll be fine. And like, that's how Battlefield has really played out for all these years. And then in Battlefield 6, you're dying as much as you're killing, and like, it's that all the time. It's like it's just Call of Duty kind of in that regard. But it is still just like fun. It can be pretty aggravating, but it's just fun like all the time.
Yeah, they really, hold on, there we go. They really have Call of Duty, like, they've really, like, I don't know the way to say it really, but they've really brought Battlefield in maps, at least, down to a Call of Duty level of you're really not fighting in like open fields much. There's maybe like 2 or 3 maps where that is the case, where you can have like sections that aren't super covered. Really, it's 1 or 2. It's like 2 maps have that, like Operation Firestorm and Mirak Valley, I would say, is the other one. Or whatever. Yeah, Mirak Valley, I think, is the one. But every other map is basically in a city. And so there's buildings everywhere. And that's really annoying because you're getting shot from windows that you can't even really like get a beat on because there's so many everywhere. And every building is like, almost every building you can enter. It's just, there's a lot on the map front that can be changed. And they're adding more very quickly. But the newest map that they've added at the time of recording, I forget what it's called, like Blackwell Fields or something.
It's Blackwell Fields, and it has a bunch of like oil rigs, so I've been calling it the Let There Be Blood, There Will Be Blood map.
Yeah.
In reference to the film. It's not very good, and it's another one of those like completely open field, not a ton of buildings.
The problem
Maps.
the problem with that is I like the open field maps where there's not a ton of buildings, but the problem with that is it's too small. It's too small to be an open field because you can see across the whole map and you
Yeah,
can shoot across the whole map very easily.
you're getting sniped from. You can get sniped from spawns on pretty much
Yes.
all of these maps.
Yeah, you can get sniped from spawn in Blackwell Field specifically. It's really bad.
I will say I this is what I meant when I said I might be extreme is that uh, I kind of despise the vehicle usage in this game. There's vehicles all the time, all the time. If a vehicles respawn rates are insane. If a tank gets destroyed, it's like 30 seconds until a new tank is ready to be like used. And uh, for how small the maps are, that's absurd to me because it's just tanks all the time, constantly.
I think specifically the big problem is, um, depending on the size of the map, there are a certain number of vehicles. Like, what's that one map where it's like the bazaar kind of? It's like, just it's a Siege of Cairo.
Yeah, Cairo.
Yeah, you can only have one. There's only one or two vehicles on that map, and you get like one tank and one IFV, which is an infantry fighting vehicle, and that's it. There are no.
That map's really good.
Yeah,
paced.
There's no air vehicles. There are like maybe a Jeep or two, a four-wheeler, but you're not really going to use them much. That's really about it because you can't really fit much on that map because it's very small. The problem is the respawn times I don't necessarily have a problem with. It's the amount of vehicles because there are also vehicle spawns on certain points as well. So certain points have like tank spawns on them. So for instance, on Operation Firestorm, both teams get, I think, 2 main battle tanks, not counting infantry fighting vehicles. I'm talking main battle tanks that like shoot shells to destroy vehicles. Each team gets 2 from spawn, and then there are maybe like 2 or 3 other points on that map that can also spawn tanks. So if it's played right, one team can have like 3 or 4 main battle tanks and air vehicles and infantry fighting vehicles and just completely take over everything. People have also been posting up on the corners and edges of maps with the tanks, just taking pot shots at people and any vehicles that try to stop them. That's a really annoying strat. It's kind of it's been in other games, but it's not been as bad as this.
There are these boxes that are vehicle resupply stations, and vehicles have finite ammo of like their main ammo type. So like tanks only have like 20 tank shells and then they're out. But there are these resupply stations that will refill your ammo, and some classes you have to unlock them can just place them down, and you will see like a specific. I think the worst has been on that one Battlefield 3 map,
Firestorm, Operation Firestorm. Yeah.
Firestorm. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the worst on that map because the way the map is laid out is that each team has an HQ, which is a permanent spawn point that both teams cannot go into the other opponent's HQ, and one side of Operation Firestorm has like this giant mountain in the HQ, and they will place down, or sometimes they'll just spawn a resupply beacon, a resupply like box for the vehicles. And people will get 3 tanks in their HQ on that map and just sit on that hill for the entire game.
Yeah, and as somebody who played a lot of Battlefield 3, that was not always the case. Like this, I've never seen this happen on that map before, or at least not to this extent. I could be misremembering. It's been a good number of years since I've played Battlefield 3, because it's just been a long time since it's come out. It's like a game from 2012. Um, the original spawn zones for Battlefield 3, that mountain was by that HQ. The layout of the map is the same, but the actual, so how it works is the HQs have these like sections of the map are basically closed off to only that team, and if you go in there, you have like 10 seconds to get out or you die. And it's really just so you have plenty of room to move around in, so you can like get around and position yourself to go through the map. That mountain was always by the HQ. The HQs have not moved. The mountain was always a big thing, not for tanks, but for snipers. Operation Firestorm used to be Sniper's Paradise. You have the two big mountains on either side of the map, because both HQs have one, and then you have the big buildings in the middle. You have the tower in the middle on Objective C. It's a Sniper's Paradise, or at least it used to be. Like I was saying, both HQs have a mountain like right next to them. First of all, one side, the I guess you could call it the north side HQ, nobody ever goes up to that mountain, and that's crazy to me, because that was a big thing, was people would go up to that mountain to snipe all the time. I haven't seen it at all in Battlefield 6. And the south side, where Clayton was saying, you know, the tanks go up there and all that, people are constantly up there, and that's how it was in Battlefield 3. But that mountain in Battlefield 3 was not part of that HQ. That was an open mountain for anyone to go up to. Now you can only get to the top of it if you are on that team, and that is ridiculous, because if a sniper gets up there, it used to be you could try to sneak behind them up the mountain and like knife them, destroy their spawn beacons, all that stuff. You can't do that anymore. The only way to get those people off the mountain now are to try and counter snipe, which means that you have to play recon, which does not contribute to the team too much in relation to playing the objective typically. So you have to either counter snipe and stop what you're doing. You have to get in some kind of air vehicle and take them out. But chances are, if you're not a regular user of the air vehicles, you're not going to last very long or be very efficient in it. And the only other option really is to, after you have unlocked it, try to mortar the area. But that is also basically stop what you're doing, stop playing objectives, get on a mortar, and just try to bomb them. It's inherently unfun having to play against that when everything results to that. And because of that, we've stopped playing Operation Firestorm. We have filtered it out of the map rotation for us personally, and that sucks, because Operation Firestorm,
it's a shame.
Yeah, Operation Firestorm is one of the best Battlefield maps ever. It's like one of the most famous. They brought it back in 4. I think they brought it back in 2042, and they brought it back here. It's a fan favorite, and I think it's been pretty thoroughly gutted is a good word. Yeah, that's a good word to use. Now the counter argument for all this bitching about, you know, vehicles dominate and all this kind of thing is typically if the enemy team is camping with vehicles and trying to snipe and things like that, if you and your team kind of get on the same page and if you ignore them and just play the objective, chances are you won't die too much, and then you'll win, because playing the objective is going to more consistently get you wins than trying to go for kills.
And I'm not saying this is objectively how it is. This is just me personally. To me, it's bittersweet because like if that's the case, like most of the time you're gonna win. Like if there's tanks camping and spawn the whole game, you're gonna win. But you're gonna, for me personally, I'm gonna have a bad time winning. Like it's just I'm gonna win, but I'm gonna be getting my shit kicked in the whole time. Uh, and that's not like the best feeling. Uh,
I don't really mind when that happens necessarily because I mean, you like blowing up tanks and that's like your play style. For me, it's what I do is vehicles are dominating right now, okay, I'm gonna ignore them. I might still play engineer to take pot shots at them with RPGs when I see them, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to like try to go for kills, especially if it's consistently not working out for me. So when vehicles are dominating, I just act like they don't exist. And then I go, okay, well, they're just obstacles, and I'm going to work around that. And I play the objective, and I kill infantry, and I'll take pot shots every now and then if I can. But if I'm playing a different class, like Assault, where the main thing is to capture objectives, because they get a boost to capture rate, and a tank rolls up, I'm out of there. I leave. I don't try to engage. I don't try to find any way to destroy it because I don't have any tools for that. I'll leave and then they'll go away.
I do think realistically too, tanks like they're not the strongest. It's just coordination because like we'll be in a tank, and I feel like a lot of people will have the same feeling. Like we'll be in a tank and we'll die really easily because we'll get shot by 2 or 3 guys with an RPG and we'll just die. And then we'll go after a tank and no one will join us and it will be impossible to take down.
Yes.
So
and vice versa. That the opposite happens to us sometimes too, where we'll be in a tank and we'll fucking mow the enemy team down. We will single-handedly like pave a path for our team to rush in, and they'll defend us and repair us, and the enemy team really struggles to take us out because a lot of them are not focusing on us and just kind of feeding. And that it's a game of like high highs and low lows, because that feels great. It feels great to dominate, but when you're getting dominated, it's not great.
Yeah, it's like when it's good, and when it's bad, it's not terrible, but it's bad.
We've definitely had some matches where we're just like, that was fucking peak. This game is amazing, and then we've followed that with that was miserable match where it's super drawn out, or it moved so quick we had no chance of winning. I mean, I had one the other night when your game crashed, where I think you would remember that I was just complaining. I was just like, we have no chance of winning, but for some reason, it's just going on for so long, and I was trapped in spawn. I couldn't do anything at that point. We were getting camped. I was just like, I just want to lose. I just want to lose. I just want to lose. I just want to be done.
Yeah, I remember when I feel like I remember when my game crashed, we were like 25% of the way through the match, and then it took literally like 20 minutes for that game to finish.
Yeah, and Battlefield games are long. Battlefield games can go up to an hour typically, especially in previous installments, and that's fine. That's good. I like that. But when it's happening in this game, because everything is so small, it feels a lot longer. Because it's I feel like it's built more for short form battles that are kind of like quick bursts of action, and then the matches are over in like 30 minutes. So when a match actually goes on for an hour, like typical Battlefield matches should, since there's barely any downtime, again, there's so many things that start to just like wear away at you. And like we've been complaining for probably the past like half an hour or so, however long we've been talking about this game, I still really like the game. There's just some major problems with it that are, like you said, there's some problems with it that are holding me back from loving it.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, for as much as we're harping on it, I like it a lot. I mean, I spent $70 on it, and I'm not willing to do that with very many games anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, sometimes there are lows with the game, but the majority of the time it's high. And
Yeah. It's because we like the game so much that we are passionate about these issues. Because if just these few things were tweaked, like if if they honestly just took all of these maps out and replaced them with like the highlights from like Battlefield 3 and 4, it'd be a perfect game.
yeah, genuinely, and you were saying that this has been like the best launch for Battlefield like ever.
Yes. Oh my god. The launch of this game, I mean, if you know anything about Battlefield, every single Battlefield since like 3 has been a fucking shit show at launch of varying degrees. Um, but like there have been a few issues. Specifically, I have one with I keep getting these weird like packet loss issues, um, and I have to like reset my router for it. There's some kind of like weird server thing going on there. Um, that's really the only thing that I've been having. I haven't really had any like crazy glitches or anything. Not any more than like a typical huge game like this. But for Battlefield, it's crazy, and it runs like pretty well overall. Um, I have a very beefy system. It's pretty much top of the line. It's not like super updated. I don't have like a 50 series and like a crazy insane like 28 quadrillion core processor, but I this PC could throw anything. This PC can handle anything I can throw at it. And for a AAA game made by EA that's also Battlefield, this game runs pretty exceptionally well, where I'm running everything on high settings and some things on epic, or ultra or whatever the game calls it, and I'm consistently getting like 80 to 90 frames, um, with very few frame drops, and that's really only in like high action moments, and it never dips below 60. And this game is it's a very pretty game. There's a lot of like post processing effects going on, a lot of like particles and dust and destructible buildings, and there's a lot going on in this game, and it's running very well. It's also got, as a lot of games do nowadays, it's got the the typical things like DLSS and all that other stuff. And I should mention, I was getting the 80 plus frames with DLSS on, which can boost performance, and I haven't noticed any visual fidelity like changes. And just because I am a fucking frame whore about this, and I have a card that can handle it, and I'm comfortable with using it, I do run the game with NVIDIA's frame generation option on. And with that on, it works perfectly fine. I'm getting enough frames where it knows like what to do. I haven't had any weird artifacting or ghosting or anything like that with the frame generation. It's worked very well. No input lag, which was a big thing when I first tried using it on. I think the first time I tried using frame generation was on Stalker 2 at launch. And that was awful. It was unplayable with that on. I was getting frames, but the input lag was crazy. I'm not getting any input lag. I can play the game perfectly fine. It's going very well overall. This game performs well. The launch is good. I like most things about it. We just have some pretty big issues with it, but they're not game ruining. If they were game ruining, we would not be playing it as much as we are.
Yeah, no, I mean the game's good. The game's just good. Like besides us harping on it, I definitely recommend it. I would say I can't imagine. I know you have been doing this, but I can't really imagine playing it like alone.
I play
I
it
don't think,
alone a little bit, but not anything crazy. I tried playing it alone the other day, and I wasn't having a super great time. Uh, that's mostly
it's
because I just need something to do.
yeah, it's definitely not a game for me that I want to play alone. But
Yeah, Battlefield has
it,
always been better with friends.
yeah, and the more I feel like the more friends we have, it is better. I mean, I know
Yeah,
that's, I know that's typical. I know that's typical of most multiplayer games, but we're soon to get a fourth friend to join us, and possibly a fifth if Tyler ends up getting it.
yeah.
And
So that's a full squad, a squad of like 4 or 5 people, I think. Yeah,
yeah,
if
and
you can get a full squad, it's definitely that's peak.
it's great with people. Like
Yeah.
when we have a full squad, it is most of the time peak.
I will say I do have to get this out of my system. Because it's a year it's a game in the year of our Lord 2025, and it's EA. Unfortunately, they are implementing things that are in every multiplayer game now. There is a battle pass, there is a season system, there's a battle royale. I don't like any of that. I made a big stink about it when it released. I knew it was going to happen, but I just didn't expect it to be so soon. It was like, I mean, it's been a month and it's already in the game. Um, it doesn't add anything crazy. It's a bunch of cosmetics. People are complaining that the cosmetics are not Battlefield. I agree. I don't think you should have like neon, colorful skins. The
Well,
main. This is a very like old head take of mine, but I want my Battlefield to stay how it's always been. I feel like the battle royale. I mean, we've played the battle royale. We did not care for it. No one was playing it when we were playing it, so we only played one match, and it took us a while to find one. We tried playing again. We sat in the lobby for like 15 minutes. We couldn't get more than like 4 players. um, I feel that Battlefield did not need a battle royale. I hope it doesn't detract too many resources away from developing more content for the main multiplayer aspect of the game, which is what people like. I've not heard very good consensus on other people's feelings about the battle royale. I don't feel like it's going to improve longevity of the game like they were hoping. I don't like the battle pass system at all. I don't think it has a place in Battlefield. I like the consistent updates that they're dropping, where they're adding new weapons and maps pretty quickly already. That's nice. I'm not a fan of the direction they're taking the monetization. We've already touched on this with the maps. I'm really worried that they're going to Call of Dutyify Battlefield to the point where it ruins it, especially with things like the map design. If that doesn't change at all, and if they keep making very small, condensed, borderline close quarter maps, and if they start adding crazy cosmetics that completely, I mean, I know it's cosmetics, it's a weird thing to complain about, but there's a reason people don't like, you see people online clowning on like, why is Nicki Minaj in fucking Call of Duty? This belongs in Fortnite, not my Call of Duty. Why are Beavis and Butthead in fucking Call of Duty? It is completely tonally mismatched and clashes. I feel the
yeah,
same. I pray that they don't start adding IP or any crazy shit to Battlefield. I leave it alone. This is my one thing I still have. Leave it alone, okay?
like I don't think Fortnite is a bad game by any means, but it's kind of like the comparison of how people are like, when Mr. Beast got big, YouTube like changed drastically, and some people even say YouTube got ruined.
Yeah,
When
Fortnite
Fortnite
has
came in, Fortnite has ruined like the marketing landscape of games.
yeah, Fortnite has permanently altered the gaming landscape in ways that we never thought imaginable, and unfortunately, it's here to stay until it stops making money, which it probably won't.
Yeah, I'll say I don't personally care about the battle pass that much. The one issue I have is with every season there's a new battle pass, a new map, and new guns. And the new guns are locked behind the battle pass.
Kind of.
Now, it well, yeah, kind of. The guns are free. You just basically have to play the game. But that means those are guns uh, that are technically you can get via just paying real money right away.
Yes, that's true. And to be fair, that is not to play devil's advocate here. That is not a new thing for Battlefield, because the other Battlefields have had shortcut DLC packs where for like, you know, 5, 10, 15, whatever dollars, you can pay to unlock everything for a certain class, or just pay to unlock everything for every class for certain games. Battlefield 3 had it, 4 had it, 1 had it. I don't know about 5 or 2042. I'm sure they had it as well. Pretty sure every Battlefield since 3 has had that.
Why was Battlefield 1 called Battlefield 1 and then Battlefield 5, which was a sequel to Battlefield 1, called Battlefield 5?
Because World War 1 and then regular War 5.
They should have. It wasn't. It was World War 2.
No, 5 of them though.
Oh, they should have called it. They should have called it Battlefield 1 2. And then they could have kept making them, and then they could have gotten Battlefield 6 7.
Yeah, shut up. It was called Battlefield 5 because that was the number of players playing without cheats at the end of its life cycle.
they call it Battlefield 5 because that was the amount of people still playing it today.
Yeah, Battlefield 5 people playing without cheat engine on.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, Battlefield 6 is good. I think it is. I think it's worth your money, specifically over any Call of Duty you can buy. Right?
Yes, and that I think everyone agrees on that. Considering the absolute fucking dunk fest that has been going on revolving around Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I almost said Call of Duty 7. Yeah.
If you're contemplating getting Black Ops 6 or Black Ops 7 or Battlefield 6, which is crazy to the fact that you might even be contemplating that, get Battlefield 6. Don't bother with 7. I'm not joking. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Oh my god, they're making them too fast.
I was about to say the fucking 6, 7 heads are eating good on this episode.
Black Ops 7, in my opinion, and this is a joke, but it's also kind of real, is the first COD that only Call of Duty content creators will be buying. Only COD YouTubers who only make content on Call of Duty will be getting Black Ops 7.
I think we're about to experience the second coming of the Call of Duty fall from grace that happened with things like Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare.
That was Infinite. It was literally Infinite Warfare versus Battlefield 1. There isn't something like that happening, but we should make it Battlefield 6 versus Black Ops 7.
That's what's happening basically. I mean, Call of Duty 7. No, Black Ops 7 isn't out yet. Black Ops 7 isn't out yet, but that's pretty much already what's happening. I mean,
it's fucked. It's fucked because Black Ops 6 was the last one to come out, and now Black Ops 7 is already coming out, and like Black Ops 6 Black Ops 6 isn't even 1 year old, and Black Ops 7. Black Ops 7's about to come out.
It's fucked up because I bought Black Ops 6 too because I liked it, and then I didn't play it. I didn't play it nearly as much as I thought.
I like the beta too. I could tell from the beta it was not a $70 game. Like I wanted to spend that money on. I played the beta for Battlefield 6 and I loved the fuck out of it. I knew that it was a game I'd be fine spending $70 with. I already have 40 hours in it. You already have almost 50. and we're gonna play more. I see myself doubling that amount of time.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
and
I
think
put
as
years into Battlefield 3 and 4, and I don't think I would mind doing that for 6 if they keep adding good things to the game like they did for those two. Because the DLC for those two games really boosted its life cycle. Because pretty much all the DLC for both of those games was great.
Yeah, Battlefield's always. I think that's one thing. Like, dude, Call of Duty can only fucking dream of is the DLCs are phenomenal in like every Battlefield game. Like, because I played a lot of 3 and a little bit of 4, but even more than that, I'm an OG relative to Bad Company 2.
Yeah.
And starting even from Bad Company 2, the DLCs for that game are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then Battlefield 3s are great, and Battlefield 4s are amazing. And then Battlefield 1's DLCs are also fucking great. And they like never stopped releasing good DLCs. I'd imagine maybe for the bad games the DLCs weren't good, like Hardline or 2049.
I don't think Hardline ever got DLC.
But rather than the regular like season pass you might want to get for DLC, they're releasing it for free and like monthly. I think Battlefield 6 is doing it, and like that's gonna be super healthy for the game and the like longevity of its life cycle.
Yeah.
Releasing new guns and new maps every month, that's gonna be fucking awesome. We're gonna look forward to every new map. Like even when we stop playing Battlefield 6, when we both like have over 100 6 and we're not playing it as much as we are now, we're gonna go, oh my god, the new map's out, let's fucking get on Battlefield 6.
Yeah,
and
let's
play
try
the new
it
map.
out. Yeah, by the way, I looked it up. Battlefield Hardline has one DLC. First of all, the game's $40. Battlefield Hardline has one DLC, and it's the ultimate shortcut unlock, and that's $50.
More expensive than the game.
Yeah, it's more expensive to buy everything for the dead game than it is to buy the dead game.
If you buy Battlefield 6, you will be spending less money for more content than Hardline and its own DLC.
Well, I don't think anyone was weighing their options for as far as that goes. I think it was more, if you buy Battlefield 6, you will have more hours of entertainment than if you I don't know, bought 7 pizzas or whatever.
Well, you could have fooled me because of the amount of people raring to buy Black Ops 7.
Raring to buy Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah, I'm like, honestly, yeah, I'd rather play Battlefield Hardline than the new COD.
You see, if that game was made by Sony, we'd have Battlefield Hardline remake remastered already.
Yeah, because like I'm ready for the Battlefield 6 remaster to come out next year. I'm pretty hyped.
Did you hear that Microsoft's also going to do a remake of Halo 2 and 3 supposedly?
I don't fucking care. They already did a Halo 2 remaster.
Did they?
Yeah, it was the main selling point of the Master Chief Collection.
Oh.
They did Halo 2
I don't want to hear from you. You're gonna get the fucking Combat Evolved remake, and they've remade that game like 5 fucking times. So
I'm hard just thinking about it.
I'm drawing a hard line just thinking about it.
No, I was talking about my Bogner. Yeah, like Halo 2 in the Master Chief Collection is like Combat Evolved Anniversary, where you can go between like old and new graphics, and they did that specifically for the Master Chief Collection, including they remade every cutscene, and the cutscenes are fucking beautiful. But it's so they already did basically a remake, because that's like that's what Anniversary is. Well, it's a poor one. I would say technically it's a remake more than a remaster. They did that for Halo 2 already, and now they're doing it again for Halo 1. Apparently, they're going to do it again for Halo 2. And it would only make sense that Halo 3 got one, because it's the only one that hasn't got an updated version.
Yeah.
But that's for next. That's for when the Halo. This is for when the Halo 1 remake comes out, and I play it and I talk about how dog shit it is. But I'm a shill for Halo. So,
Lol.
what do you think? What do you think? That's a good ending point there.
Yeah, I think we're good to end here. We'll
Are we
just
doing? Are we doing some farewells?
fuck no.
All right, cool.
End of podcast.
Yeah, fuck you. Don't ever listen to this podcast again. Die.